and they were destitute. They were very poor, and the Goodfellows helped out my mother's family. They got that package every year at the holidays, and that meant everything. In fact, the Goodfellows sent her to camp. And so she actually went on a camp scholarship, and then she in turn then would send us to camp when we were kids, and that became very important to her. So all because of the Goodfellows.
How many stories have we heard like that where people who are now part of the Goodfellows actually, receive
benefited from it? Yes, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and the great thing is when people contribute to the Goodfellows, 100%, every single penny you give goes toward those packages for the kids. All the staff is already taken care of through an endowment, and so every penny, and not many organizations can say that. They always have staff and things that
overhead.
The overhead. There's no overhead here. Every single penny goes to the Goodfellows and goes to those care packages that go to all of these poor kids in the city.
Wow. As media person, you're the only one that's a good.
Is that true?
Right? Yeah, I'm proud to say that I'm the only member of Detroit's media who is an actual member of the Goodfellows. I'm an actual Goodfellow.
Wow.
Yeah, for many years I stood. In fact, there was one morning, did the entire morning show at Channel 4 out at the exit of the Lodge Freeway at Howard Street with our Goodfellow president at the time, and we were doing live shots all morning long in that bitter cold, and that's what we did. We did every year. We were out in that bitter cold, but it was worth every penny.
Well, sure, and then when you consider all the good that it does and the generations that have been impacted by it.
Yeah, that's one thing. When you look at the Goodfellow organization, you're going to find a lot of multi-generational families that are members, people whose fathers and grandfathers, et cetera. That is very common through the organization. It is it's like, the old colloquial term, it's like a family business. There's so many people where this runs so deep in the families, and, like everybody knows somebody or people you don't know that were helped by the Goodfellows.
Yeah.
It is such a rich tradition, what I love. And, when something's been going on for over 100 years, it's easy for maybe something to fall through the cracks.
Sure.
It has not done that with the Goodfellows.
No.
They have kept it going. And these volunteers, it's amazing how these volunteers are there to help this continue and having no kitty without a Christmas.
Oh, absolutely. And the support of the Detroit Police Department over the years. I mean, back in the day, they would actually deliver the packages to people's homes.
That's right.
And,
right.
And now they open up some of the precincts. I worked at one of the precincts last year handing out packages to the families. And boy, was that a good feeling, handing these care packages, these Christmas packages to these families, and knowing that these kids were going to get something. They were going to get something for Christmas. And it was, it's just such a great feeling. And the police, again, the police department has been so supportive, like throughout the entire history of the Goodfellows.
Well, and then you look around this room, and as people are still filing in, you see different community leaders, different business leaders. And this is this very symbiotic relationship that we have in the city. Everybody is willing to help out each other. The parade company and Tony Michael's willing to have you guys there to show people that, again, this is all a community effort.
It is a real community effort. It is one of Detroit's longest standing, most cherished charitable endeavors in the entire city. And as you say, the entire city comes together for this because, let's face it, we're living in a world right now where there's a lot of negative stuff. You don't even want to turn on the news anymore, but you come to this or you do anything associated with the Goodfellows, and it's just pure good. You feel good about what you're doing. You know that 100% of what you're doing is helping these kids, and it's kids. It is such a great project that they've had for, again, over 100 years now, to help the poorest kids in the city.
Well, and we were talking to Bob Riney earlier, and obviously he's in the healthcare field. So he talks a lot about, obviously the treatment that people receive, but then the stress, the burden of not being able to have access or not being able to get care for their families, that negatively affects your health too. So when these boxes, but there's an element of relief for them too.
Yes.
Yeah, and here's the thing. A lot of people that maybe just have heard of the Goodfellows and they know the kids get a Christmas package. They don't know what is in those packages. It's not just a toy.
That's right.
You get a toy, a book. There's like a dental kit, like a toiletry kit. There's like a pair of jeans or, a sweater, clothing, underwear, socks. I mean, the kids get things that can help them through the basic necessities of going to school.
Sure.
I mean, and just having a normal life as a kid. I mean, think about it. You're poor. What a new pair of jeans does for you, or just a warm sweater.
Yes.
You'll talk about those things for the rest of your life.
Yes.
My mother, like I say, remembered getting those packages, and that's all she was going to get at the holidays. They were so poor because my grandfather died when she was 7. I mean, it just directly impacted, her family. That was their holidays.
Now, Paul, we can't have you here without asking you about the weather. It's 44 degrees outside now.
A little nippy out this morning.
Nippy. So are those colors going to start coming now?
Well, we talked about this the other day.
Yeah.
We're gonna get some fall color, obviously, but it's not gonna be as good a show this year. It just the drought has really taken its toll on the trees. The trees are stressed, and I'm just seeing tree after tree now where leaves are starting to curl up and turn brown without even changing color. They're just dropping.
They're dropping.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we're going to get no color. Yes, there'll be pockets of color around the state, but it's just not going to be as good we've had.
Have you
This
been
year.
looking at the forecast out in Seattle for tonight?
I haven't looked at it yet. I was going to do that when I got home today because
Okay.
I actually have a number of forecasts. I have to forecast for the Lions for their game at Kansas City, and I've got a forecast for the University of Michigan football team at USC.
Uh-huh.
And they want to have a practice today out in USC, and they're going to get some showers. I got to fine tune that and touch base with that team. But then I'm going to look ahead at the Seattle weather. But I was very involved with the weather for the Tigers here on.
I know. Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
I can just imagine Paul sitting at his dining room table, 6 phones in front of him like he's Adam Schefter. Just, rain. No, you're going to be dry out in L.A. Yeah, it's going to be a little damp out in Seattle. Yeah, that's pretty
It
good.
gets pretty intense. I mean, it gets pretty crazy, especially when you have all 3 teams playing at the same time. I am juggling a lot sometimes.
Oh, I'm
but,
sure.
But these are my teams. I grew up here. These are my teams, and I get to have my little part, helping
That's
out.
great.
Yeah.
Really cool. Paul, thank you for your time. Thank you for what you do with the Goodfellows. Thank you for
Absolutely.
being a
Great
good
story.
fellow.
Great story.
Yeah,
It's great
and-
to see you guys, and great to be with you in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
it
No
is.
doubt about it. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
It's
there was
good
a
to
fun
see you.
factor this morning, too.
Yeah, no doubt. That's Paul Gross here on WJR. We'll take a break. Coming up on the other side, we will talk to Solomon Kinlock, of course, running for mayor here in the city of Detroit. It's next on JR Morning.
Welcome back to the 35th Goodfellows Tribute Breakfast here at Huntington Place. We're turning our attention now to Detroit's mayoral race, where voting is officially underway. And one of the candidates shaking up the conversation is the Reverend Solomon Kinlock. He's a longtime spiritual leader and pastor of Triumph Church, one of the largest congregations in the city. The Reverend is running as a political newcomer, promising a movement for the people focused on affordable housing and neighborhood revitalization, public safety, and reconnecting Detroiters to their downtown. And he joins us now on the JR Morning Live line. Reverend Kinlock, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me this morning. I'm honored.
You are a spiritual leader, and you have been one for decades, guiding one of the largest congregations in the city. But now you're stepping into politics for the first time. What made you decide that now was the right moment to run for mayor?
Well, Lord, you have to look at the environment in which we're in. We're living in a time where many people feel as though government is not working good for them. Recent polls suggest that 58% of the people don't believe that institutional politicians take their concerns into consideration and have them the highest priority on the agenda. And I believe that this is not an addition to my work. This is an extension of the work that I've been doing for the last 27 years. It's about people.
So if you win this race, what's the one thing you want to get accomplished? Because we've seen this partnership between government and the private sector and nonprofits that have all contributed to this comeback, this rejuvenation of the city. So how do you continue this momentum? What's the one thing you want to get done?
Well, one of the things I think that is happening in this present day is that we're leaving too much money on the table. There is a lot of good being done. We just want to make sure just because you're doing good, that you understand it doesn't necessarily mean that it's good enough. We can leverage the mayoral office because the mayor has the power not only to cast vision, but to communicate it and to convene the table in order to get it done. I would intensify that by harnessing the philanthropic dollars we already have, opening up an office of philanthropy, and not asking for more resources, but to work cohesively and collectively with the resources that are already being spent in the city. So it's not just circulating downtown, but we can make sure it's circulating throughout the whole town. The neighborhoods need to feel a part of this renaissance. And if we are not reaching every part of this town, then and just doing downtown, this is not really a renaissance or revitalization.
Reverend Kinlock, Detroit leaders point to over $1 billion in affordable housing investment since 2019, but you've challenged that. You said affordable for who? What does truly affordable look like in your view?
Well, one, you got to make sure that the people in the city can afford the houses that you say are affordable. When the median income in the city of Detroit is less than $40,000 a year, and you telling me rent and the pathway to purchasing homes has so many obstacles, and one of the greatest obstacles is down payment assistance. We got to do better. It didn't take media to tell us recently, 51% of the children, more than the majority of the children in the city of Detroit, live in poverty. That has happened under the watch of my opponent. When you have the highest poverty rate, we're not talking about this enough. You have the highest poverty rate since 2017. That is under the watch of my opponent. At some point, if the people that sit in these seats of power have not delivered for the people, we got to do a better job at it. And we've been tutored and taught in our own community that when other people don't stand up, we got to step up and stand up and do it for ourselves.
Reverend, there's been some pushback on this idea that you would continue to serve in your current role as a faith leader and continue to preach to your congregations while then also being the mayor of Detroit. What do you say to people that have that as a concern? I think it's a legitimate one. How do you respond?
Yeah, well, one, I remind people, one, you got two preachers in the race. They just only articulate it when it's convenient. But there are two pastors in the race. She's co-pastor or have been labeled co-pastor of a church along with her father. And so you got two of us. The second thing is I'm not the first pastor that got into politics. I'm the first pastor, although in the city of Detroit, I'm the first mayor uh, that will be mayor. But there are other pastors that have run for mayor. No church, just like government, runs by itself. You run with a tremendous team. And so right now, I got a tremendous team at Triumph Church who will run the day-to-day operations of the church, will give me the freedom and the flexibility to dedicate full time to the mayoral seat. I will, as mayor, go to church on Sunday when my schedule permits.
Mhm.
And if I'm there, I will preach. The other part of that is the mayor doesn't run the city by himself. He has deputy mayors. He has chief of staff. He has chief operating officers, chief financial officers, department heads. And so you do it with a great team. And we wouldn't have got this far as a city, and I wouldn't have got this far as a church if and ministry if we didn't have people that we continue to work with in order to do this thing. It cannot be a me thing. That's the thing we got to remember. This mayoral job has to be a we thing. And so that's what I would do as the next mayor of the city. I will work in collaboration and partnership with the people and the great team that we will assemble and put together.
Uh, Pastor, you've also said that that no one should really be taking a victory lap over these crime numbers, even though they are lower than they have been in some 50 years or so. A lot of Detroiters still feel unsafe, and I know you've officiated funerals for a whole bunch of young people who lost to violence.
Yes,
How has that shaped
yes.
your sense of urgency, and the kind of policies you like to prioritize as mayor?
Well, when we start talking about numbers, we have to be honest. It's hard to trust numbers, particularly when you're grading your own paper. Anytime you have people grading their own test, you're gonna fudge with the numbers a little bit. We have to make sure that if we're going to really deal with crime in the urban community, we first of all got to be honest how we're classifying crime and how we call it and classify it, dictate and determine how we count it. Until the people in the city feel safe, we have not done enough job of delivering the two things they deserve: safety and justice.
And Pastor, we got about a minute left, and I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about Robert Davis, who seems to be after you for some reason, who brings up a lot of stories about
Yes.
you, and just your thoughts on seeming like you're being singled out here.
Well, that is the case. I've lived in this town enough. I know that Robert Davis is being paid by someone because he's motivated by money. I'm suspicious that it's my from the other side, someone is casting rocks and throwing and hiding their hand. It is an attempt to distract and deflect because they can't stand on this discussion of policy. I'm not going to allow that to become a distraction. This is about dealing with poverty. This is about dealing with affordable housing. This is about dealing with the food desert. This is about dealing with the opportunities that the people in the city of Detroit deserve. And I knew I wasn't stepping onto a playground. I'm on a battleground. I
Yeah.
didn't look for the fight, but if you bring me one, I'm going to give you one.
All right, Reverend Solomon Kinlock, appreciate you coming on this morning. Good luck in the race.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Okay, have a good one. And coming up, we'll be speaking with Lomas Brown. We'll be previewing that Kansas City and Detroit game. I can't wait for that.
Big game.
Big game. That's next on JR Morning.
we've held at the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we've watched so gallantly. In air, all too are still there. Oh, say does that star go banner yet wave?
Fifth annual tribute breakfast. Since 1914, the Detroit Goodfellows mission has been no kitty without a Christmas. Once again from Huntington Place, here are Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds.
All right, welcome back. It's good to have you. The program has officially started.
It has.
Do you know how hard it is for me to whisper?
I know, because I think you learned how to whisper in the helicopter.
Lloyd, I'm Italian. I only have one volume, really. So it's very difficult.
I know.
But nonetheless,
Yeah.
We're here at the Goodfellows breakfast. And it's good to have you. Obviously, a great day.
It is.
Here.
It is.
And all the good that happens, all the great partnerships that we see, all culminating in a lot of money being raised and given to this wonderful organization that helps so many in the community.
Yeah, hopefully the 1.4 million that they're trying to raise, and if they can get that money, I mean, every dollar goes towards putting together these 25,000 boxes of not just toys but clothes and also
toiletry bag,
all of that
really
is
special.
really needed.
Meanwhile, the Lions getting ready to do business down in Kansas City. They're looking to knock off the Chiefs, and they got a tall task in front of them, especially with some of the injuries that they're dealing with on the back end. We're going to talk to Lomas Brown. This look inside the huddle is brought to you by CNC Heating and Air Conditioning. Call 800 My Furnace or visit cncheat.com, and we bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Lomas Brown. Lo, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
We got a big game this weekend, and I want to start with some of the injuries on the back end because, now we're looking at Terrion Arnold being out for some extended period of time. Obviously, DJ Reed, he's going to be out. So they've got some work to do at those corner spots.
Yeah, it's going to be another challenge, just like it always has been, especially when you're missing key players like that. And I tell you what, from watching film, man, Patrick Mahomes right now, man, he is on another level throwing that football. He has his weapons back in the Xavier Worthy, Rashid Rice, and, of course, Travis Kelce. So it's going to be a challenge for us defensively, but in Calvin Shepard, I trust.
Preach it.
I know Detroit leads the league in scoring and has been very efficient with Jared Goff. No turnovers for him. Jamar Gibbs providing these explosive plays that we see all the time. Lo, how do you see the Lions' balanced attack matching up against Kansas City's defense?
Yeah, I think we can move the ball against anybody, to be honest with you. I mean, their defense is good, but I think our offense is better, and that's the same thing we're going to be looking to do. Like you said, Lord, we need those explosive plays. I think that's the only thing out of our offense that's kind of, I wouldn't say missing, but kind of misfiring right now. So if we could hit on some of those explosive plays, believe me, it'll loosen things up. It'll keep those safeties deep, and then it'll really allow our running game and our short game to thrive.
Well, Lo, if we win the coin toss at the beginning, do we keep that ball and try to score first, or do we defer? I think we should try to keep it and get on that board first. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Look, what you want to do is try to keep as much pressure on Kansas City as you can. And if we can get the ball, the coin toss, yes, I would love to take it, try to drive it downfield. Like you say, put 7 on the board and just keep trying to keep the constant pressure on them as much as we can all game long. We do know, like I say, Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback, but I would love to take that ball and shove it down their throat early.
Look, I think that if there's one thing that we've seen, particularly over the last couple of years, but even this year, I mean, Jared Goff he just doesn't make mistakes with the football. I mean, he knows exactly where the play is, where he needs to, take a check down if necessary, or just get rid of it. I mean, he's playing really, really good football. And I know Patrick Mahomes and the whole deal, but I mean, look, this is our guy, and he's one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two things I know you can't do with either one of these guys is, like I always say, show them what you're going to do pre-snap. I mean, if you're going to blitz these guys, you either disguise it or you send it late, so these guys can't get a read on it, because if either one of these guys gets an early read on what you're going to do, they're going to make you pay. And you're right, Jared, I'm telling you, man, if this guy isn't 1 or 2 in the MVP voting right now, there's something wrong with that system, man, because he's playing at such a high level and has been the whole season.
And, Kansas City has shown some vulnerability to a strong running game, and I think the Lions could really use that ground attack, not just to score, though, Low, but also kind of control the tempo and limit Mahomes' possessions.
Yeah, and what they say, your best offense or your best defense is sometimes your offense. And you're right about that. That's right. If we could limit the times that he gets the opportunity to get out on that field with that offense, that's going to bode well for our defense. And like you say, coming into this game, man, we're a little beat up there. We're going to have to definitely have a big effort from our front 4. from the middle push and the outside push, because we're going to have to rattle him if we can. We're going to have to try to get him out off his spot if we can. And, of course, if we could sack him and get him on the ground, that's the best scenario.
Yes.
Well, let me ask you this, because Kansas City's coming off a loss, and it was a last-second loss where Trevor Lawrence fell down on the last snap inside the 5-yard line, fell down twice, got up and ran it in, and the Jaguars beat Kansas City last week. How much is that lingering? I mean, they're 2-3. It's not really where we expect to see them in the standings at this point in the year.
You know what? I'm going to be able to tell just how so people made a big deal about the Chris Jones not hustling on that play. But I'm going to tell you, Chris, it was other plays. I've been watching other game film. I watched them against a couple of other teams. I'm drawing a blank right now. Baltimore, I watched him play. Wasn't a lot of hustle out of him. It's other games that I've been watching, and Chris, this has become a pattern for Chris Jones. I'm really kind of shocked about that. It was just highlighted in that Jacksonville game. So I think we could take advantage of these guys, especially if you start leaning on them early.
Right.
They seem not to want to hustle and get to and swarm to the ball. At least he does. And by him being the defensive leader, everybody else kind of follows. So it'll be interesting to see how he comes out this game. I think it's going to dictate how that defense plays at Kansas City.
And then our secondary, I mean, Mahomes could really, go after them, because we're kind of lacking right now in the secondary. Do
you expect a little more zone, less man?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. I kind of expect that same blueprint we used against Baltimore. Mm-hmm. I expect them to mix it up in the backfield, but I also expect somebody to spy on Mahomes, and I expect some delayed blitzes. That worked out so well against a guy like Lamar Jackson. And Patrick Mahomes, I'm telling you, man, that's an underrated part of this game, but he can scramble.
He can.
He can get that first down if he needs to, or he could buy time with his feet to let his receivers come open. So I think it's going to be just as important for us to get 2, maybe 4 eyes on Patrick Mahomes, too. Kind of treat him like the Lamar Jackson we did a few weeks back.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Lions 4-1, looking to make it 5-1 on the road in Kansas City against the Chiefs. Lomas will be there. Lo, appreciate you as always, my friend. Thank you for the time.
Hey, appreciate you guys. Have a great day.
Yeah,
you too.
Do the same. Go Lions. Let's get this done.
We're going to get it done.
Let's get this done. We got to see the Tigers playing Sunday night too.
We got to get it.
We got to get it done.
Would that be crazy?
Yeah, it'd be crazy. It'd be awesome. It's the best. I mean, it's the best. I mean, you've got the best team in football going against the Tigers, who would be in the AL.
Yes.
Yeah. Give me that straight to the veins. And IV right into the system.
And listeners are wondering, how come they're whispering?
We're whispering because we're here at the Goodfellows breakfast, and the program has started, and we're in the ballroom with everybody, and we don't want to disrupt what's going on.
Right.
So it's like we're
it's like we're in a cave.
All right, we'll take a break. Coming up on the other side, let's do some good news stuff.
Okay, all right.
Talk about what's going on
this
in the
weekend,
city. Get a little chilly, but there's still lots to do.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about it with Jared Stace coming up on Jared Morning.
When it comes to slip and fall,
WJR's Game in the D, and we want to send you to the game when Detroit hosts New York Sunday, November 23rd at Ford Field. You could win tickets, transportation courtesy of MetroCars, and $100 to dine at Buddy's Pizza. To enter, download the free WJR mobile app, find that secret keyword, and then text it to 800-859-0957. That's 800-859-0957. WJR mobile app, download it, find that secret keyword, and then text us. For more information, you can visit WJR.com. And we're here at the Goodfellows breakfast and hearing some testimonials from the kids who have received these boxes. And boy,
it just touches your heart, doesn't it?
It's tough.
Yeah,
it's wonderful,
and they're so appreciative. It's
wonderful. It really is wonderful,
and they really understand what went into putting that box together, and knowing that it was, you know, a lot of volunteers, a lot of people who cared for them, who wanted them to have a good Christmas.
Yeah, we just heard from one sixth grader who said her favorite part was this bear. And if she's stressed, she holds the bear. If she needs to cry, she holds the bear. If she needs to talk, she holds the bear. And it all came from what she said was a lot of people who wanted her to have a good Christmas.
Yeah, that's wonderful,
special
man.
Stuff.
Well, listen, it's chilly outside, and it's a little crisp, a little brisk out there, but the sun is shining, and the sun is going to be shining this weekend. It should be a pretty nice weekend this weekend, and there's some things to do around Metro Detroit, and who best to tell us what they are is Jer Stays. He's host of the Daily Detroit podcast. Jer, good morning. What's happening around the city this weekend?
Good morning. So here's something fun. It is World Migratory Bird Day tomorrow, because
I was going to tell you about that, Jer. I was going to tell you. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, because I'm excited about this, because hundreds of thousands of birds are flying over us every night right now. And so there's a bunch of things happening. I want to highlight a couple of quick things. First up at Oakland County, at the Red Oaks Nature Center tomorrow morning, starting at 8 a.m., is their bird walk, where you're able to actually see some of these birds before they head out. They also have learning sessions, all of that. And then you can look online as well. There's actually a Royal Oak Bird Fest you could look up with events. So a couple of bird-themed things, because we should really celebrate this. This is like the passing of the seasons. It's just so cool to see all this happening.
It's very cool.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan. And then I wanted to mention for the kids, there's a big interactive exhibit opening this weekend at the Michigan Science Center, all about the machines of Leonardo da Vinci, all of his inventions. There's a playground of about 40 interactive machines, and it starts this Saturday. It's going to run through January, but I like to highlight things when they open, so you can put it in the calendar. Go check it out on opening weekend. But you've got a little bit of time on this one, but something to do, especially, if it's feeling a little bit too chilly, or if you want to do something different, the Michigan Science Center is always a fun time. And then the other thing, you're mentioning chili. Well, this Saturday and Sunday is Cider in the City at Beacon Park. Whether you're looking for pumpkin picking, horse-drawn carrots, horse-drawn hayrides, crafts, DJs, food trucks. They've even got the game up on the big screen. A great way, especially, if you're a little bit closer to the city, maybe you can't get out to one of those cider mills. All that stuff is going to be there with cider and donuts and everything right there at Beacon Park in the heart of downtown Detroit.
Boom. Jerry Stace does it again.
Always.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
Appreciate
Absolutely.
It,
you too. Take care.
Have a good one. So it is also Feel Good Friday. This is a good Feel Good Friday.
It is a good
Goodfellows.
I feel good.
Gotta have that, definitely. And I have a Feel Good Friday story, if I could just find it now. Okay.
Oh, here, then let me go first.
Okay, you go
I got
first.
one. So there is this restaurant down in Pensacola, Florida. It's called the Shrimp Basket.
Okay.
And Donnell Stallworth is one of the cooks there. And this is a small hometown kind of restaurant, right? And what do you get at small hometown restaurants? You get regulars. You get people who their order. Yeah. They come every day, every other day, whatever it is. So you get to know your customer base. Well, Donnell was starting to realize that there was an absence of this regular who came every single day. He was an elderly man. And he wondered why, Grandpa wasn't there. Everybody called him Grandpa because he was that to the restaurant and the people who came. And so he missed another visit. And so Donnell Stallworth decided to go find him. So he went to his house, found out where he lived, found this man on his living room floor. He was hurt and found him there, took him to the hospital, saved his life.
Wow.
All because he noticed one of their guys wasn't there. Hadn't been there for a couple of days and was wondering where he was. Found him, took him to the hospital, and saved his life.
Wow. I have one from a daughter who's giving back in a really heartwarming way and by giving her mother the room she always deserved. Ann Duarte, the first in her family to graduate from college, recently handed over the master bedroom of her new apartment to her mother, Annette Duarte, who in 64 years had never had a room of her own. Growing up in poverty and uncertainty and experiencing homelessness, shelter stays multiple times, Anna remembers the chaos of her childhood, but also her mother's unwavering support. Though every move, every cramped and rundown space, Annette was the rock that kept her daughter safe and grounded. And after earning a scholarship to Florida Atlantic University, Anna graduated with a degree in social work, and now she works for one of the largest Christian charities in the country. Her career, inspired by the struggles she witnessed growing up, has given her the ability to provide stability for herself and a long overdue gift for her mother. She said most of the time we stayed in cramped rooms and rundown places because that was all we could afford. It's never felt like home, just a place to survive until the next move. Her mom has never had her own room in her entire life. Not even as a kid, her mom didn't have a room. So she wanted to give her something that symbolized peace, dignity, and a fresh beginning. So she captured the room makeover and the emotional reveal to her mother. It was on TikTok, and it's sharing a touching reminder that sometimes the best gifts aren't things. They're the spaces that we create for people that we love.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that sense of security, that sense of belonging.
Going 64 years,
It's
not
crazy.
having a room of your own ever.
That's wild.
I mean, you think about. I mean, I can't. I've always had a room.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow. It's really special.
It's a special. It's really special.
Yeah.
And so is this.
Very cool. Yeah, no, there's no doubt. This Detroit Goodfellows breakfast highlighting all the good that this organization has done, and will continue to do for the children, the families of this city, to make sure that no kitty goes without a Christmas. And they're looking for $1.4 million to continue this mission. And I mean, you look up at this board of all these companies that are involved. I'm pretty sure they're going to get there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
So kudos to the Goodfellows for all that they do. Thanks for having us out here again. Wonderful day.
Good day, man.
Here. That's going to do it for us. Kevin Dietz and I'll talk coming your way next. Have a good one.
Now WJR Health Watch.
All right. I got to write something real quick.
And with all of you, I consider very dear friends because we're in this together. This just past Monday, I had an opportunity to host a press conference at Detroit Police Headquarters, and I invited everyone. I had CEO of Wayne County, Warren Edmonds. I invited Colonel Grady of the Michigan State Police Department. I had all of our federal partners. I had judges there, Chief Judge McConaughey of 36th District Court, Patricia Fassard of Circuit Court, Mayor Duggan, City Council President Mary Sheffield, other council members there as well, because we're all partners, and we got a chance to update the community on the third quarter results of historic low crime reductions. That doesn't happen without the philanthropic community and without you as well. So we all should celebrate this. A big round of applause. Because in the city of Detroit, it's one Detroit. And a lot of suburbanites sometimes they say, Chief, I live in Southfield. I grew up in Detroit. I used to be. I say, that ain't nothing. That's Detroit too. I say, that's just North Detroit right there. And I really mean that, because if you go to California, you say where you're from. Just to give you an idea of what that means in whole numbers, in 2022, we had 192. In 2025, same period in time, 64. What we're doing in the city of Detroit is working. So as I close, I say continue to do what you're doing, investing in our children, opening up your pocketbooks, to make sure that every kid in the city of Detroit has a Christmas. Thank you all.
Chief Todd Betterson, everybody. I don't know about you, but I feel safe every time I come to Detroit. I feel fine. And it's also important for all of us to know, especially the children to know, that the police are your friends. They are here to protect you and to serve you. And it's important for all of us to get to know the officers who patrol our streets every day. They are not strangers. They are our family too, our brothers, our fathers. They're human beings who put their lives on the line every day to protect us, and we thank you for that. Now, there is a man who was once named Goodfellow of the Year, who also happened to be the mayor of Detroit. That man has decided to look for another job. But he's here in spirit, and I know that he supports the work of Goodfellows. I want you to please welcome the deputy mayor of the city of Detroit, Malia Howard.
Thank you, Mr. Perkins. Great morning. Look at all these happy faces today. I usually deviate from my talking points, and I really do hate following Chief because he is a great speaker, and I usually come with the serious, but I've got some great stories today. So before I get into this, I want to say that this makes me so proud. My mother just reminded me, we used to compete on who can do the best Goodfellow doll. So my family's been doing this for well over 45 years. And I used to watch my grandmother and my mother compete on crocheting. So some of you are not old enough to know that Goodfellow dolls used to be crochet dresses and hats and bonnets, and it was a big deal, and they used to do that. And so standing here today, this is a phenomenal, like, reaching back around, because this year my mother did 12 dolls. I didn't do any because I was busy. But I want to say that I'm just so proud to be here for Mr. Riney, because this is an exceptional honor for you, sir. But I want to say, for those of you who don't know, I met Mr. Riney because of working on the Destination Grand, the New Amsterdam, the new hospital system. I used to be major projects manager, and so working with your team and yourself and Mr. Tellum has been just phenomenal. And Ms. Hobson is a through line for that. So if you don't know what Destination Grand is, it is housing, it is a new hospital, it is a new medical research school. And so because she went to Cass Tech under the tutelage of Principal Phillips, because she goes to MSU, now she has an opportunity to go to graduate school here in the city, down the street from her home, at the new MSU school. She also has, because she's studying cancer research, an opportunity to go work at the new cancer hospital that is on the boulevard. And so that is the through line. That is what Mr. Riney has brought to our community, to what Mr. Tellum has brought to our community, what MSU has brought to our community. So I want you, when you go down the lodge today, look to your left and to your right. That's a $3 billion project that transformed an entire community and also provides an opportunity for those residents to not only have the best facility, right? The best facility for healthcare in their neighborhood, but also provides them with an opportunity for a job, for expansion in their education, for a new housing opportunity. And my mother said yesterday, I'm sorry, Mr. Tellum, she was like, we need another grocery store, because that's her neighborhood. So she said, make sure you put a grocery store over there. It is my honor to join you all today to celebrate a remarkable Detroiter and a true champion for our city, Mr. Bob Riney. Thank you. That deserves applause. Yes, it does. The Ed McNamara Goodfellow of the Year Award carries the name of a leader who believed deeply in service, compassion, and the power of community. His legacy reminds us that leadership is not only about a position, it is about purpose, generosity, and heart. And that is exactly what Mr. Riney represents. For decades, he has given his time, energy, and wisdom to the people of Detroit, not for recognition, but because he believes in doing what is right. Through his professional excellence, his mentorship, and his countless hours of volunteer work, Bob has shown us what it truly means to be a good fellow, someone whose light makes the path brighter. And so on behalf of Mayor Mike Duggan and the city of Detroit and the residents of Detroit, congratulations. And thank you for being a shining example about what it means to be a Detroiter. So thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
Malia, thank you so much for those wonderful words. Wonderful. And now I'm excited to introduce our next speaker. You heard a little bit about him. Arn Tellem. Arn and his wife, Nancy, were recognized as Goodfellows of the Year in 2023. Arn, vice chairman of the Detroit Pistons, has been active in the Detroit business and philanthropic communities since arriving in Detroit 10 years ago. You feel like a native. You really do. He was instrumental in the Pistons leaving Auburn Hills and coming home to Detroit, and a key figure leading the successful bid to bring a WNBA franchise back to Detroit. Please welcome Arn Tellem.
Thank you, Bob. Good morning, everyone.
when he reflects on his incredible journey. That philosophy of saying yes to opportunities has really defined Bob's career. He's always loved Detroit, often visiting downtown Hudson's as a child. So it's fitting that his first job at Henry Ford Health in 1979 was in the security department, assigned to the nurses' residence. It was there, amidst his Wayne State College books scattered across the security desk, that he met a nursing student named Sandy. Her opening line when she met him, and this is also true: "You're supposed to be the security guard. You aren't even doing your job." But Bob ever
don't even know about. But because back in the day, people would yell fire in a crowded theater when there wasn't a fire, and it would cause a stampede. It would cause panic. So they made that a felony to falsely call fire in a crowded theater. Our social media platforms, not built with that intention, have the ability for someone to falsely call fire and have it spread to millions in a day and create panic or the equivalent. So we have to come with some common sense regulations to make sure that social media is used for its original design, not for danger, not for destruction. The third is, as a nation, we've always had different views on the what. The what is policies, regulations. We've always had healthy discernment, healthy debate. That's a good thing. That keeps this country in balance. But we were really fairly aligned on the how. We disagreed on the what, but we had a set of agreed upon values on the how. Let's demand that we have healthy discourse, but we do it in a way that's consistent with our values and with who we are. And my last comment is that let's never forget, as you look around this room, that diversity is not a bad word. Thank you very much.